Are you ready to unlock your full potential, shatter limitations, and ignite success in your life, career, business, and relationships? Introducing Mindset Mastery Moments, the transformative podcast hosted by the #1 mindset disruptor, Dr. Alisa Whyte. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement dedicated to rewiring your mindset for limitless possibilities. Subscribe now and disrupt the status quo with Mindset Mastery Moments. Your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment is just a click away. Embrace the extraordinary and welcome to the Mindset Revolution.
Hello, disruptors, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite Top 100 podcast, Mindset Mastery Moments, with yours truly, Dr. Lisa. Today's episode is going to be a journey unlike no other, and I am super thrilled about it. We're going to be diving into the rich tapestry of the human experience, where we will explore the power of connection and understanding across cultures and backgrounds. You see, I have an amazing special guest that is a phenomenal powerhouse leader, woman, entrepreneur, and she's also a dentist. But most importantly, she is on a passionate, powerful journey of transforming mindset through the power of connection and the human spirit. Today, you're going to be spellbound by her story as she shares her incredible journey of her coming from Saudi Arabia to the United States and all the powerful transformational lessons she learned along the way. So, listen, my favorite part is that this human being is not just a guest. She is a friend, a sister, and a colleague on the journey of transforming mindsets, one mind at a time, through the power of serving humanity and really connecting us as one. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired as we welcome to the Mindset Mastery Moments platform, Dr. Slava Al-Nabulsi. Dr. Slava, come on up to the Mindset Mastery Moments stage. Here she is. Welcome, Dr. Slava.
Hi, Dr. Alisa. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so excited. But before I let you and we take off on this wonderful experience today, let me tell our guest listeners, our fans, all over the world, a little bit more about you, sis. So now, let me tell you, Dr. Slava is an extraordinary individual. She really is. And I'm so inspired by her. And I'm so honored that she is my sister and my friend also. Dr. Slava Al-Nabulsi was born in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Dr. Slava's upbringing was nothing short of fascinating. As a Jordanian with connections to the royal family, she experienced a childhood that was like no other. Navigating complexities of dual identities and societal expectations was definitely a part of her life. Despite the privileges and challenges that came with her family status, Dr. Slava's journey took an unexpected turn when she made a courageous decision to pursue her passion for dentistry in the United States. Today, she is here to share this remarkable story of resilience, self-discovery, and the power of seeing humans as humans. Dr. Slava, once again, welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments. And listen, I always get to tell a little bit about our guests, but why don't you tell us who you are, where you're from, and just get us rock and rolling on this journey today.
Thank you, Dr. Alisa. It's always a joy and it's always fun talking to you and to your audience too. My story, I believe that the universe has always a plan for you, and you get to a point in your life, you ask, why am I here? Why am I going through the life in Saudi Arabia? Why I was born to my parents? And not until later in life, years and decades later, I was like, that's why I'm here. And here we are. Yes, I was born by a Jordanian Palestinian father and Jordanian mother. And 1966, my father was pushed out of Jordan in a very unofficial way. He was a libertarian. He was a huge advocate for human rights, civility, equality, and he wanted to be a writer. So, there was a lot of commotion in the Middle East in the 60s, recruiting youth from campuses and college institutions to join the socialism and just call for equality. Get rid of monarchy, get rid of suppressive political systems and stuff. So, anyways, as a youth, he just graduated from college, just talking in the cafe, and his cousin got arrested. So his best friend came to him. He's like, "You need to tone it down." He goes, "What am I supposed to do? This is my country." He goes, "You just need to go somewhere, pull it off, and then you always can come back. I can get you a contract, 5 years. Your wife is a teacher. Let's just ship her up to Saudi Arabia." And 1967, they moved to Saudi Arabia. So that was my dad's first rejection from his own country. And, lo and behold, after 19 years, he stayed there. He's supposed to go back to Jordan 5 years, but it didn't happen. And so that's how we landed in Saudi Arabia, actually.
Wow, that is so incredible. It's inspiring. Already off to a great start. So, Dr. Slava, can you take us back to your childhood now as you're in Saudi Arabia and share with us what was it like growing up with your unique background?
Like I said on my podcast with She's in Control, with Sally Gamati, and just like I told my story with Rick Oley, with what article that was published yesterday, I always, since I could ever remember, by default, I had to accommodate to identities, because I just had to, because of the social status change after my mom's sister married into the royal family. So before that, we were just a working family, 2 parents from Jordan, try to make ends meet. Now, granted, my dad came from a very affluent property, multi-generational property wealth in Jordan, but he wanted to do his own thing, just like me, I guess.
Right?
I really followed his footstep with that one. So when he went to Saudi, he only had $10 in his pocket. He started all over from scratch. But what happened is the shift is when my mom's sister married into the royal family, then they just put us in that, took us out of this, second-class citizen status into more of a little bit closer to the top. So as a young child, my home was very modest. It just, my parents are working full time. I go to school, come back to school, watch TV, stuff like eating cereal, whatever. And then when we went to my aunt's house, I had to put a different front, because I had to act around my cousins in a certain way, because if I misbehave, it's going to go up into the chains and say, they embarrassed us, or it was uncalled for, it wasn't within the code of conduct. So I had to learn in the early age. It's like, okay, I'm going to my aunt's house, certain things I can't say, certain things I can't do.
And why was this?
Because you have to represent.
Was that the royal side, the family that was the royal side? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah. So you have to represent the royals. And obviously, when I was just playing outside in the courtyard or whatever garden, it doesn't really matter between my cousins. But when my cousins, for example, got to 8th grade, high school, they really had to say, "You can't say that to me. I'm HRH. I got title. I can't. Right. You can't do that to me." It's like, what are you talking about? I've been doing it to you since I was 5, but not anymore, because as my female cousins got into society at age 15, 16, people want to see them in a certain scope, dressed up into society, into the royal society. And when I joined them in so many events, I had to really put my hat on. It's like, okay, so what not supposed to do, what's supposed to do, what not, it's just go over the list. Yeah. And so that was difficult and very complicated, very confusing when I was a kid. But honestly, that tool, I carried it with me to the United States, helped me in so many different situations, how to just switch kind of roles.
So you had really good practice, and I can't wait for us to dive into
early
because you and I both are naturalized U.S. citizens, and so we definitely carry dual identities, and sometimes it's even more, because even in Saudi Arabia, as more quote unquote Jordanian background, you have that Jordanian culture that is part of your life, but now you're in Saudi Arabia, so you're carrying that. So by the time you get to, and then I think you said one of your parents had a dual background as well.
My dad is Jordanian Palestinian, so he was both.
And your mom was?
Mom is Jordanian.
She's Jordanian. So you already had two cultures in your life, just being born to your parents, moved to Saudi Arabia. So the whole family is making a shift to Saudi culture. But then let's add royalty on that. So this is a juggle of four. Then you get, into fullness, and we'll talk about that transition a bit. And you come to the USA. You're juggling about 6 different cultures in your life at this current moment. So Dr. Slava, those privileges and challenges that comes with experiencing and navigating those dual identities and society expectations. You said, as we wrapped up your intro, you said that it made you ready for where you are right now. So what does juggling look like for you now, those dual identities?
Honestly, the past 2 years, I've been going through a process of transformation because I've been in dentistry for 25 years, and this May marks my 25th year in dentistry. Thank you. So, you start thinking, it's like, okay, I have, maybe 5 more years of actual clinical practice. Do I want to stay into dentistry? Do I want to do something else? So when that question started to manifest itself in my psyche and my subconscious and nagging me, it's like, what's next? Like, I have no idea. I never really had another job at dentistry since I left Saudi when age 19. I want to be a dentist. I have achieved that. Yeah. And then, but just now what? So I had to go through the process of rediscovering myself. And of course, it's like culling all old stuff from your closet, cleaning out the closet. And I had to really figure out, what do I want to keep? What do I want to cull? And then it served me well in the past, it's not serving me anymore. And that's the whole process. Journey started with, who am I? Do I revert to my traditional beliefs? Do I create my own egalitarian beliefs, like even gender role? I'm a wife, I'm a doctor, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter. Back home, you leave with those very traditional gender role beliefs that, got to achieve certain things to make your family proud. So I had to go through the whole process. What I found is I didn't realize how much of the ability to adapt by shifting identity had really, helped me out surviving this whole journey. What I said in my article, my dad wanted me to be a fashion designer. My mom wanted me to marry well and do art history and live in museums all my life. And I said it all in my article, and I said, I just want to be a dentist, So, So it's like, why you want to look in somebody's mouth the rest of your life? So I had to separate that. That's what my dad told me. It's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you want to look in somebody's mouth the rest of your life? I'm like, first of all, it's not my rest of my life. Probably it's going to be 20, 25 years, but here we are. And second of all, it's not like that, Dad. So anyways, luckily he was the biggest feminist and the first feminist I ever met in my life, my dad, and he was very supportive. Right. But so when I was going through culling that mental closet and see, what do I need? What do I need? What serves me well? What's not going to serve me? That's what I found, that big tool. It's like, that's why I'm here, because hold on a second, one of my strengths is context, and I like to tap into history in order to understand what's going on, and hence the passion for writing. And then I said, you know what, that's what it is. For me, it didn't really feel like it's a huge effort. It came naturally because I've been brewing in it all my life since childhood. But the recognizing that's what carried me through, that was like baffling. It was like, oh my God, this has been there the whole time, and I didn't even recognize it until now, because you slow down and you're trying to organize your life. Right. I hope that makes sense. Yeah,
it does. So you're telling me that And I love that you brought this up, and I know that if you all are listening keenly, you would catch that. And this happens so much in the conversations we have in Mindset Mastery Moments, where I love to talk about purpose as well. I think purpose is the needle in your life's GPS. That's how you know where you're going to go. And that we get so bogged down with, well, my purpose is to be a dentist, and so that's it. I'm stuck with it for life. No. And I loved when guests bring that up. She's like, well, I came to the point where I love dentistry. I was so focused. I did it. I became it. You have 3 dental practices, and so no less, you still love it, but it's not the thing that you're most passionate about. So you stopped and took a look within and give yourself space and room to say, well, I love dentistry and I enjoyed it for the last 25 years, but what else is available to me? What else do I desire to do in this world to be a part of my why, or to lead my why at this time? It doesn't change, because let's face it, being a dentist, you serve humans. And so your thing now, your next chapter is still serving humans, but you're choosing a different way to do it. Tell us a little bit more about the mindset that's required to make that shift. And in this time, still in a dual role. What mindset do you need, and what does that look like?
So, as I said before, going through the process of just clearing everything out, I came to the recognition that I had a pile of limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts. And I really spent a lot of time with my life coach to really dissect and break it down into what's so limiting about it. And we came to the conclusion that my, mental processes was either or. I'm either a Jordanian that migrate to the United States, or I'm a fully American, westernized entrepreneur career woman. Where do I want to be? And one of the best advice my life coach told me, she said, why are you picking? Why can't you be both? What's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with me? And she's like, you created both. You worked hard on both. You successfully have maintained one, balance with the other. Yeah. Why not both? Why is it one or the other? Why not one and the other? Right. So the moment I switched the or to an and, that was a light bulb for me. I'm like, I can be both. But the challenge, of course, with every epiphany comes a challenge. The challenge is how. So through life, I learned that you have the 3 main questions: the what, the why, and the how. Right? So what do I want? I want to explore Slava. Now I'm unrecognizable. I don't know who I am, because except it's like, I'm a dentist the whole time.
Right.
So what I am now, and why do I want to do that, and how am I going to get there? So the first step is to get rid of the or and add an and that just ignited a lot of different creativity, thoughts, concepts.
It takes off limitations.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what I love to teach my team, is eliminating limited beliefs and mastering unlimited mindset. And I think that is the future of humanity for us as collective, not to be just to eliminate everything that's stopping you from doing. You don't have to, but also from our culture, it's very, very hard, because then we tap into the guilt. It's like, I'm ripping my roots.
Who I'm supposed to be.
I'm being disrespectful of my roots. I've been disregarding of my ancestry. This is my culture, my roots. Yes. So that definitely process I had to go through. It's okay. It's not. You're not insulting anybody. You're not disrespecting anybody. You're not.
Yeah.
It just is the new you. That's what's going to make you happy. Yeah.
And so I love that conversation. That is a lot that anyone can truly take, because I know that I would say 50% of humans I meet along my journey, that's where they're at. As a coach, as a speaker, as a professor, as an instructor, it's like, that's the biggest thing. It's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I can't figure it out. And I'm like, what are you trying to figure out? You are. And so it sounds that easy to me, but what I hear you, so just to unpack a little bit, of course, my little coaching hat pops in to our audience, taking what you just threw out there, is you are not one-dimensional.
Yes.
And one of the things, my platform, my personal message to the world is, let's get you connected to your true values, your core beliefs, connect to your why, and then we figure out your how and your what and your how you're going to demonstrate this in this time of your life. Because next season, which could be a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you might want to do your how differently than you are now. And so, I'm so passionate about it. One of the things I am working on top of all the things, is because I started my career in early childhood education, my goal with you all in Mindset Mastery 360 is to create a research project of how we can actually start to teach that mindset to children.
Yes.
Because if they can really decipher as early as possible, this is who I am. This is what I believe. This is what my parents believe. This is what my dad believes. This is what my church believes. Of the people at my wherever. I love what they believe. I respect it, but this is who I am. They might not figure it out early exactly who they are, but they'll have the mindset of, there's everything everyone else believes about the world, about life, about me, and how they think I should be. But then there's just me and who I truly am, and what I believe, and what I value, and what I want to do. And so empowering them, because what's happened, I would say, a lot of people get into that crossroad earlier in life where you're doing the soul searching and what it is I want to do, what is it? And so we think it's like, I'm confused. We tend to label that period as, I'm confused, I'm lost, oh my God, I'm about to really mess some stuff up. And then they start arguing and fighting with their family members, their spouse, and then they call it a midlife crisis. Then people start going through divorce. People start divorcing their spouses, their kids, their family. And it's like, it's not a fight, not an argument. Now, Dr. Slava, I will say to our listeners and viewers that it is not easy. The older you are and you start making these decisions to live in the essence and the fullness of who you are, yes, you're going to offend some people. Yes, some people will be like, Slava, now you know better. You are a Jordanian, Saudi Arabian, Palestinian woman. What are you doing over there? Why are you dressed like that? What are you even talking about that on that podcast? Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about the mindset that you are tapping into in this period of your life to sustain the transition of owning the fullness of I am, and I am, and I am, and I am. And you never know which Slava you're going to get today, but you're going to get greatness.
Yes. I guess the first step is to, at least what I did, since again, one of my strengths is learner, right? Yeah. And I get it from my mom, just dwelling, learn education. My dad always said that, there's one thing they can't take away from you. It's what's in your mind. You can lose your house, you can lose your money, the government can come and impose a different political system on you, you might have to leave, whatever it is. I know we're a little bit more morbid and dark because it's just the area of conflict all the time. So he said, except for what's in your mind. So that really stayed in me for all my life. So educating yourself, it's the first step. Because if you're going to start with what is it that I want? You have to do research, right? Whether research, emotional research, spiritual research inside of you, or if you're looking from the inside out, research about your environment. And is it like, what is it that I'm passionate about? You always start with passion. be clever with it, and be creative with it. Okay. So that's the passion. What's your passion first? So that's the what. Then you take that passion and research it. What does that mean to you? You know, put it in your own word. And luckily now we have AI that help us can write stuff up and express, you know, and you can edit it. It's like, oh yeah, it's almost like conversing with somebody else as you write.
Yeah.
And journal it, you know, put it in a journal and start writing. And that's one of the first steps that my life coach taught me, is just write it down. I don't care if it's gibberish, just write it down. So that's the first step. And then as you discover what's going to keep me from getting to the what, that my passion, you got to get rid of that. Like I said, either completely cancel it or just tuck it away. And whether it's limiting or unlimiting, whether it's traditional, egalitarian, whether it's right to you or wrong, what's fair, what's not fair, and write that down. And then just start GPSing, you know, which route am I going to take? Am I going to take Route 3 North, Route 3 South, 495? What's less traffic, more traffic? Do I want to see more? Do I want to learn more? Do I want to do the shortcut? It really depends. And that's how you design, you know, your journey. But it took a lot of time, spending time looking from the outside in instead of the inside out, and almost like shedding the material success, the social status, your like physical passions, anything that's very plastic, artificial, just dressing it up, just shed it out. Like, you know, when you go to a retreat and you just shed everything out and just go to the core, go to the core. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of time, and trust the process. That's the best thing I can tell you. A lot of praying.
Yeah. I love that you said trust the process of, I talk about the process of becoming, because becoming is the word. And just being, I say, use that childlike bewilderment where you're like, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like you have a plan, but just being so awe of, oh, so I chose to be more Guyanese today. And what happened? You know, it's like if you listen to me, and I think that might be one of the reasons why people love listening to podcasts. You never know which Alisa is going to show up. I don't even know, because all of these essence, being a Latin American woman and being a Caribbean woman at the same time, being a Guyanese woman, being an American woman, being an American woman that's Guyanese, Latin American, living in Arizona. You just got me all, and this is not unique to you and I, Dr. Slava. We all are so multifaceted. So I love what you said is and so just it's the one thing I can tell you people connect to. And as I said, someone told me on Thursday, as I was doing prep, we were just discussing, their upcoming recording for the podcast. They're like, no, the thing is, I believe your podcast is so wonderful because you just show up in authenticity. Yeah. And I'm like, that's it. And so people tend to tell you that you are inauthentic because you switch. Like, I am sure if you get in a room with people from Saudi or Palestine, you're going to speak your language and possibly even your dialect. Versus if you were speaking your language to me, you would sound different because you would still be holding your American accent. So for me, like, I have people say all the time, so say something in Guyanese. And I'm like, it's hard for me because I'm not in my space where, so like, it actually is not even present. My Guyanese is not present. And so it will come out subconsciously though. But when you put me on the spot, I'm like, what do I say to you? Like, and then there are times I'm saying words and I'm like, am I saying that Guyanese or am I saying that American? So when we do all that, we're judging ourselves. Yes. And then we got the whole rest of the world to judge us. I remember my nephew saying, Auntie Lisa, he hears me on the phone speaking to my business associates here in the States. And he's like, you just said that like totally like American when you're talking. He was very young. And then he goes, but then you just said that to Nani and you were like, na, 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 na. And I'm like, I said, son, guess what? those are two languages that I speak, and I'm pretty sure I speak like 5 others because there's variation of what it's, like I have my Southern accent from living in Florida. I started saying yeah because I've been here for so long in Arizona, like yeah, like let me get it for ya. And I'm like, oh, where did that come from? But it's been around here. So what Dr. Slava taught us, she gave us a beautiful process. But one thing, if you hear anything and you're going through these transitions of reconnecting, I say, because you were not lost, you don't have to find your way, reconnecting with your true self, just be patient and release the judgment.
Yes.
And when people judge you, help them and say, I understand that my process and how I show up in your world might be a bit confusing, but that's just who I am. And smile. And sometimes don't internalize it and make yourself hurt, because you showing up and just being you is what the world welcomes most than anything else. And so then your message and your work gets accepted. So Dr. Slava, before we shift and take a commercial break, the last question on this I have for you is, who is Slava right now in this moment? Because she can change a little bit tomorrow. Who is Slava now in this moment? How would you describe yourself and your how, what, why?
I'm a teacher right now. I am like I said, I would love to teach and send a message right now. What I am, I'm a teacher. I'm not. I'm tapping into my culture. I'm kind of have that duality going on, and I have to remind myself all the time that it is an advantage, not a disadvantage, being an immigrant, not even a first generation American, because one of the limited beliefs that I had to get rid of, like I said, either one or the other, but I didn't realize how advantageous we are to the world because we can understand both worlds. Yes. We can empathize with both cultures. We can tap into both beliefs, and we can switch back and forth. And it's almost like a chameleon. So who else will be able to teach the new generation that's struggling with identity crisis or confused where I do belong? And I have 37, 38-year-old Jordanian professionals saying like, I don't know where to belong. Yeah, it's okay. That's what the process is. But if they realize and understand and create that mindset shift that I am in an advantage point right now, not a disadvantage, because I am the best of both worlds. I'm that hybrid where I can understand even a bigger range of humanity and a wider circle of inclusivity and make everybody feels matter. Because at the end of the day, we want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to matter. Yeah. So if you have somebody that understands what the Arab culture, what the Guyana culture is, South American culture, the Indian culture is, the Islamic, the Christian, the Hindu culture. Wow. I mean, we are almost, exactly. So we are at an advantage. So what I tell as a teacher, I tell everybody what's in your thought cart, just your shopping cart that you put in Amazon or Target or Walmart. Yeah. What are those beliefs and limited? And I always teach my team that, is that what you want to be? Is that what you want to wear inside your head? Is that thoughts you put in the cart? And the moment you hit order, there's no going back. That's what you're going to get back, the exact order you put in. Yeah. So I always ask, what's in your thought cart, shopping cart, that you really, really want to reflect on who you are right now? So again, what am I? I'm a teacher, and that's what teaching, just the serving humanity. I'm serving my purpose right now, and I'm very enjoying it. Yeah,
I love it, and I tell people, it's funny you said you're a teacher. I have so many titles: Her Excellency, ambassador, professor, doctor, all these wonderful titles, and I'm grateful and honored to have them because it's based on work I've done. But I tell people I'm a teacher. That's who I am. And if you switch it up, some days I go a little bit off and I say I'm a facilitator.
Yeah.
So I am here to facilitate. And when I think about what a teacher is that person that's a guide, a friend, a mentor, and the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be, right?
Yes.
Think about it. When you're in first grade in order to get from first grade to second, you need your teacher to be that guide and give you the lessons and support you and cultivate your learning so you can go. So that is perfect. And that's exactly what we get to be. And I love that you said it's not a disadvantage. It's actually an advantage. And
huge advantage.
I talk to my students when I'm teaching them, employability skills. And I'd say, what is your unique selling proposition in USP? A lot of people think about it in sales and marketing, but no, you are the product. Okay. So what is your unique selling proposition? I have used my cross-cultural experiences to land me jobs. I use that even though my language is not recognized anywhere else but among my people, because I brought that in interviews to say, yes, I can walk, because they were like, okay, so you are a middle class, almost upper class person, want to work with this demographic. I've been asked, what makes you a good candidate for this position? How can you empathize with people who are in straight poverty, who just come out of prison? I'm like, because I was raised in a third world country and I know what it is to be hungry and not have and eat one meal a day. I said, but I still don't know what they've gone through, but it taught me compassion. And I use it. So you are everything that you've gone through and you've journeyed is your unique selling proposition, is what Dr. Slava is telling us today. And it's not why me, it's how can I, where is it that I am so uniquely placed that I can be of benefit to humanity? Because everybody wants to do something that's bigger and better than what they are and what they know to be true. Everybody wants change in some area. So we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back after a word from Disruptors. We are back in this heartwarming, mind-shifting episode with the beautiful Dr. Slava Al-Nabulsi. And we are talking so many good stuff. And I know that you need to share this episode with someone because it's going to help them shift and own who they are. And remembering, as Dr. Slava said, not the or, but the and. So, Dr. Slava, we're going to flip the script a little bit differently. We want to talk a little bit about how you have taken all that you are, because we are all these beautiful things, right? And how you shifted, and now the work that you're doing currently and what you've created in order to now take all that you've learned and give it as a gift to the world.
So the first step, the first step is heal. I had to heal my inner child. My inner child had, in order to feel safe and secured in this world, held out onto a lot of the old beliefs that I had. So the first step is healing. And then when I felt I am, healed to a certain degree that I can tap into designing what I want to do, then I, like I said, recruited a life coach. And then I start reading, I start, listening to TED Talks about different emotions, reading books and stuff. And so that's the design. And then we start really tapping into my passion and then after that, transformation happens. Transformation, if you heal and you design healthy after you heal, you have to heal first. Yeah. Then the transformation becomes a step that's inevitable. It has to happen. And it just organically start happening. It's like, what's happening, to me. So that's the process. Those are the steps that I concluded from the whole journey is heal, design, and transform. To answer your question about now how I feel, honestly, it just literally, I feel like a farmer that I've been planting for 2 years. And now everything is coming out in bloom, and it's like, oh, okay, I don't even remember planting that, but it's giving me this. It's like, all right, that's fine. We can work with that. Yeah. Right now I'm harvesting all that work that I've done the past 2 years. According to my life coach, it's a very speedy process, right? That I'm the type of person, just get it done, just get on with it kind of thing. And just get it done. So if I put my mind into it, then it's going to happen. And I feel the best than I ever felt in my whole life, because I just, I'm fulfilling that purpose that I meant to be. Honestly, I had no idea like how I'm going to do this, but I just felt like I need to talk to somebody. I need to spread this around.
Right.
So yeah, healing, designing, and transformation. That's my process. And that's what I teach my team too. Whoever wants to transform themselves.
Healing, design, and transformation. HDT. That's the Dr. Slava principle. So you started the Jordanian Women's Entrepreneur. Yes. Is it entrepreneuriate? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So I met with brilliant young lady from Yemen originally. She's out of London. She has a PhD in biomedical engineering, I think. Brilliant. She won awards that was granted by actually the royal family from the Royal Fund of unique research about hearts and stuff. She's unbelievable. But she's very passionate. Of course, she's a huge feminist and a libertarian. She comes from Yemen and she lived in Italy, which she did not really like. She thought Italy the racism was very, very hard on her. And then they moved to the UK. So she started her own business as social media coaching. And I did one session with her and she was very blunt with me, although I'm older. I mean, she listened. And she goes, "What do you want?" And I said, "What do you mean? I want you to coach me." She goes, "What's your passion?" I said, "Honestly, I'm going through this phase. I don't know who I am. I'm an immigrant, but I'm not first generation American, but also I'm an American." She goes, why don't you do a project about Jordanian women and see what happens? And that's what I did. I started the Jordanian Women Entrepreneurs in order to help immigrant Jordanian women really understand what it will take as a process and a journey as you leave your home world. And as you know, when you're in a home world, it's very much control environment. The moment you step out of that world, it's free for all, the sky's the limit. And it's like, and you have almost like no guidance, no path, and you have to create your own path. So I'm hoping as I attract more Jordanian immigrant women that living in the United States to shed some light for whoever is thinking about taking that leap of faith outside their home world, because nobody talks about Jordanian. Nobody knows what Jordanian means, which is...
And no one would ever know as much as a Jordanian would.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dr. Slava, you have brought us to that whole shifting and owning in on paying it forward. I believe that's what a teacher does. And I think we all should be subscribing to be teachers. When you learn, you teach. So with your Jordanian Women's Entrepreneurs Association, is that what it is? Project, you are paying it forward and now that's creating a support network for Jordanian women making the transition to the USA specifically. And I would say it could even go to wherever they go. It's only
anywhere.
Yeah.
And everybody's welcome. Any immigrant, especially Arab immigrant, because you have to deal with the language barrier, not knowing what their rights are. Some of them get married so young and come over here. Their husband's been here 20 years, but they never left home before. So all I'm trying to do, I am trying to help them discover their inner fortitude, which is their strength to enable them to accomplish what they need to They have it. All I'm doing is, here it is.
Tap into it.
Here it is. Don't tuck it away. Just here it is. And just use that. You have the strength, you have the power, but you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And like you said, when we used to go to Jordan, we used to play outside in the street and stuff. And the Jordanian kids will throw rocks at us, knowing that we are Jordanian that went to Saudi. And they say, go back to Saudi. You don't belong there. You left your home chasing the money. So go back to Saudi, and they throw rocks at us, And
I had adults do that to me in America. 2 adults.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
But they're words, and they said, go back. You should go back.
Well, yeah, that's just a small scale coming from a Jordanian to Jordanian. Can you imagine coming from non-Jordanian to Jordanian? I mean, if that's what they believe about us, but that's how strong the belief is. You stay in your land, you take it the way it is. You don't just switch and trade, just because this is not working out in your country. You just go somewhere else. So, but yeah, I'm not special. Everything that I'm just saying, it's just the experience of life, but you have to go through this process. In order to be seasoned and hoping to transfer that power to somebody else. The new generation definitely needs it. They do, like you said, they have the pop culture, everything. Everybody wants to be Americanized. But what I love about what I'm seeing, especially on social media, they're keeping the both worlds. Even while they're there, they're both in the both worlds, which is it's reforging this entity, out of the both worlds into this unique new entity that the whole world can accept.
Jordanian American. Yeah.
Exactly. Like it's just your hybrid of both worlds, which is absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Just like when you have a mixed race child, it's just so beautiful because they have, the genes of both worlds.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They can speak both languages, they can eat both foods. They have the capability to really enjoy not world, both worlds, which is absolutely beautiful. Yeah,
exactly. And the way we, even in Mindset Mastery 360, it's global movement. And someone said, she said, when I joined the movement, I know it said global movement, but when I got on the call, it's like, this is truly a global movement. You don't know who you are, basically, when you are being told so much. And what has happened now, Dr. Slava, my observation is it's still occurring, even though, let's say in the United States of America, no one tells you this is what you're going to be, this is what you're going to do. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, I think a lot of us are better off because someone told us that versus what's happening now. Because who's telling our youth and young children in the USA? Pop culture, media.
Yes.
So young people, they change their mind every day and they want to be a rapper, they want to be a movie star, they want to be like, those are arts. Those aren't who you are.
Those material successes, those are social
status. Yeah. So we still don't know who we are. At least in Jordan, your mom said, we are Jordanians in Saudi Arabia. And this is what it means to be that. Okay. Yeah. We cook food. We eat this at that time. We do that. That's not happening anymore. So people are like, oh, I get to be a rapper. I get the movie star. Movie star is not a thing. It's an art. You can't be an art. You still got to figure out who you are. And this is why we're looking at so many celebrities. And I don't have a problem. Like whatever is going on with Puff Daddy is Puff Daddy being the person that he is. That's his character that's coming out. It's not his art. His gift of music and, being an entrepreneur those are his gifts. Don't confuse the two. And so we think we know these people because of their gift and their successes, as you say. But the character is what's going to speak. And now that's going to ruin the gift. So if you do like Dr. Slava, wait, you're 10, 15, 20, 30, 60, 80, spend that time sowing the seeds of reconnecting with you and who you truly are, and build your character, your how, your what, your where from there. That's the mindset shift she just gave us, guys. She's been talking about this the whole time. Character and who you are and what you value. I say that education, wealth, fame, money, all of it can only take you so far, but your character is what will maintain you in those roles, right? Disruptors, we are back for our final segment in this wonderful, informative, transformational episode with Dr. Slava Al-Nabulsi, my dear sister friend, and I call her a thought leader as well. She has taken us along a beautiful journey and the importance of having a resilience mindset, of staying in authenticity, knowing that you don't have to be one thing or the other. You get to be all the things that you are. And she's also shown us that having empathy for other people, knowing that your journey, your lessons, and where you've come from is important part to bridging the gap for the next set of people. And now we come to that beautiful part of the podcast where our guest gets to give you mindset bites to go, those powerful takeaways that helps you keep going in your mindset transformation journey. So Dr. Slava, can you offer any advice to the listeners who may be navigating similar challenges that you did and pursuing their dreams in this journey? I'm going to give you the microphone and it's going to be all you just speaking life and mindset transformation into our viewers and listeners. Over to you, Dr. Slava.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I guess the best thing that I would say at this moment is to really tap into your heart. you'll be amazed what you can find, and you'll be amazed what you will discover by tapping into the heart. I believe doesn't matter what we go through, love always prevail. Love thyself, love your neighbors, love your friends, be tolerant of what the challenges the world gives us, because as in the spirit of the month of May, which is the mental health month, if you really want to heal your mental health or protect your mental health, check in your thought carts, spend time with your heart, go from the outside in. Your answers are all inside of you, and that's why we are here. We're here for a certain purpose. And if you don't tap into your heart, you will never find your purpose, and you find yourself lost. Find your path by tapping into your heart. And like I said, just protect your inner fortitude, and that's your strength, and that's going to enable you to do whatever you need to do. But follow your passion. Be creative. Be clever with your passion. Be clever with your creative outlets too, by design, not by default. And, one of the challenges that we have these days, the stress and anxiety. Stress is nothing but a fearful reaction to the changes that happens around us in life. And if a peaceful person is neither fearless or stressed. And, anxiety is the fear of unknown. So if we're not fearful and we stay in the know as much as possible inside of us, not about, other people, then the anxiety will drop, the unknown will be much, much smaller, and you will tap into peace.
Ooh, wow. I love it. I loved how you ended that, Dr. Slava. You said tap into peace. I have this long little write-up I did a couple years ago talking about peace. I said, I believe that most humans think we're in search of being quote unquote successful in terms of having money and having the things and having the affiliate and the network that we need. But what I found in my journey of growing older, that the true thing we think we want love, we think we want fame, we think we want money, we want peace. Yes. And that is to wake up and feel. It's a feeling that you just know all this stuff is happening in the world, all this stuff is happening, but I just feel really at home with myself. And that's why your message of authenticity and moving through the noise and the clutter of who am I and what am I supposed to do is like, okay, I am me, and this is what I believe, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it. Dr. Slava, you have been nothing short of phenomenal as a guest, and you are, of course. I know that our viewing and listening audience, they don't get to be sisters with you. They don't get to talk with you all week and giggle and chiggle in text messages and get on Zoom calls and plan to go take the world trotting as women. Tell them how they can connect with you and how they can, if they're listening to this podcast episode and they are a woman somewhere in Jordan, because we do have women listening out there too. I know we have humans listening out there. I'm not sure whether they're male or female at this point. How do they connect with you and stay ablaze and support what you're doing, both in your movement and in your work as a powerful woman?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it's almost like designing my brand kind of thing. And honestly, most of the people, I just started mentoring two Jordanian female dentists, one in Texas, one in Massachusetts. And they really found me through either a friend or the MM360 foundation, but also I'm on Instagram, the Jordanian Women Entrepreneur. You can always message me. If you just send me a quick message, I can give you my email, Dr. Slava at greenwooddentalnh.com. You can email me. I have a call from Jordan tomorrow. This gentleman, he hooked up with LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn too. So I have the Slava Como, my stories, Jordanian Women Entrepreneurs, the stories about my mom. And then I have you can reach me, like I said, with MM360 or Greenwood Dental, or even from LinkedIn. Anybody that need encouragement you don't have to be Jordanian or Arab. Anybody, man, woman, boy or girl, that needs just to get inspired or hear my story. I'm more than happy to do so. Yeah, it just stay authentic and stay concise. Stay really concise with what you want to get done.
Absolutely. I love it. Dr. Slava, thank you so much for your insights, sharing information with our listeners. And so we are so blessed. And this is not the last time you're going to hear or see her anywhere near me. So just get used to her. She's going to be back on the podcast again because we've got so many things to talk about. And as we were doing this episode, I envision us definitely having a master class or some kind of conference for women, supporting women who are immigrating from different countries. I just feel like that is a thing.
Easy.
I just thinking about what I went through when I arrived here, which is probably not the worst of stories, but I believe that having a support network, and we're going to build that, just build it inside Mindset Mastery Moment, Mindset Mastery 360. Oh my goodness. So all our information is going to be wherever you're listening and seeing this to connect with her. That's all the time we have, but stay in tune with us. Go to mindsetmastery360.org. Yes. You can go to mindsetmasterymoments.com and find the link to but truly connect with this powerhouse, and through you get to tap in. You're just out here and you're like, you don't have a home, you're feeling a little lost. If you come home to mindsetmastery360.org and you join us there, just say become an ambassador. Even if you don't know what that means, there's a little bit on the website, but all it means is to get connected with this type of energy that you got from Dr. Slava and myself. There's a bunch of well-versed, diverse, just caring, loving humans in there. Wherever in the world you are, you will find a space. It's like Dr. Slava said, she connected with another dentist that's Jordanian in MM360 that I haven't even been able to speak to yet, but they found each other, and what they're able to do is bigger than what Mindset Mastery 360 had planned. And so that's the beauty of humans coming together, releasing the judgment and connecting as one. So we're bridging borders today. Spread this message, share it. Dr. Slava, I love you and I'm honored.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
Virtual hugs, and we are over and out. Remember to master your mindset, think, speak to become, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.